to Cowboy Coffee with Coaches, a podcast created to recognize and promote our student athletes, focusing on high school varsity teams, their coaches, and mentors. Today is Monday, January 17th, 2022, and we're recording our 20th episode of Cowboy Coffee with Coaches here in the Rio Blanco Herald-Times building on the corner of 4th and Main Streets in a studio created by Lucas Turner. Thank you to all. My name is Bobby Gutierrez, and I'm joined in the studio this morning by fellow host Tiffany Jahoric, owner-operator of Crystal Meadow Farms. She will be updating us here in a couple minutes on last week's action, as well as our studio technician Rich Klinsman, owner-operator of Step Beyond Media. Welcome to both of you, and thank you for your help as always. My apologies go to Rich for not mentioning on this podcast the fact that Rich became a granddad for the first time in December, 12/22/21. Congratulations, Rich. Maybe tell us about your grandson, how old he is, what position he plays. It's been a while. He's a teenager now.
Yeah, he already feels like a teenager. He's 3 weeks old. It's Bo Cameron Moore.
Okay,
and
good.
The most adorable little baby.
Okay, yes.
Lots of hair. Just, of course, baby sleeps all the time, but
He's
doesn't
healthy.
cry much.
Mom's healthy.
He's healthy. Emily is very healthy. Chevy, the dad, is probably the happiest guy in the world because he got his son. He wanted a son for the first time, so
yeah, good deal there. And you told us you're called Oompa?
I am Opa.
Opa.
It's
Opa.
German for grandpa.
Okay.
He has so many grandmas and grandpas from all different places, and so we came up with some unique names.
Well, good. Congratulations again on that greatest title, Grandpa.
It definitely
Opa. Yes, it is. Also, last weekend you were full contact with Dr. Justin Grant's fundraiser.
I was.
You helped stream that. How did that go?
It went really well. I mean, there was a couple of hiccups. Dr. Grant he's an animal.
Amazing.
I mean, to be able to go that long, and I could never even imagine doing what he was doing this week. And they raised a lot of money.
Well, good deal. Well, one of our guests, Stryker Lane, who will be here in our second segment, he's also can touch up a little bit on that when we get to his interview here in the second segment. As I mentioned, we record these episodes and then upload them to our Coffee with Coaches Facebook page and start sharing it around. Today in our second segment, we will interview Meeker High School assistant wrestling coach Stryker Lane, who is here with us today in the studio. Stryker will tell us how things are going for the Cowboys after having a week off, missing the Grand Valley Duels and the Hayden tournament last Saturday. Stryker also helped coach his coaching colleague, Dr. Justin Grant, with his fundraiser last weekend, so he can kind of tell us a bit about that experience. One thing there is one of the interviews was with a world-class wrestler, Kyle Dake, who Stryker told me the other night was his college roommate. Dake is, for those you don't know, we'll kind of clue you in on him, but he is a incredible wrestler. Anyway, big list of accomplishments there. Also, in our second segment, we will wait until this afternoon to record it at the Recreation Center's pool when we interview Moffat County swimming coach Melanie Neaton, who is from Craig, which has the team but not the pool. Meeker has 4 girls that are swimming on the Craig team, which practices in Meeker. We'll have Coach Neaton explain all of that and tell us how they've been doing and where they've been competing here again in our second segment. But now we'll have Tiffany kind of recap what happened last week, and we'll go there. Go ahead, Tiffany. Thanks.
Sure. So for the girls, they had a really tough game. The boys and the girls, and the wrestling was supposed to travel to Grand Valley on Thursday. Unfortunately, wrestling was canceled. But the girls basketball team played the number 5 ranked 3A Grand Valley Cardinals, and they lost 62-46. Haley Knowles had 21 points, and Sarah Kraft had 18. And Coach Rogers said she knew it was going to be a tough game. The Grand Valley made a 9-point run to start the first quarter, and they just couldn't get out of the hole. So it was a tough loss, but they're 4-3. They're still 2-0 on the league. Then the Plateau Valley game was canceled on Saturday, and so they pick up on Thursday with their next game.
Okay. Yeah, I had gone down to see part of that, and I just caught the tail end of the Grand Valley game, and it was a little rough. But.
Yeah, and then in boys basketball, they won 57-50. Liam Deming led with 17 points. Zaga Brown had 14, and Zach Simonson and Jace Mobley both had 11 points. There again, that team is also 4-3 on the season, and they're 1-1 on the league. So the teams are doing good. They have winning records right now. And Coach Kindler said we played well, we handled their press and got good looks. We built a lead and answered every run that they threw at us.
Yeah, I think they kind of led from start to finish. So it was a good game.
And again, the wrestling was canceled, and actually the Hayden tournament, the whole thing was canceled. Nobody wrestled in Hayden. So Hayden was the first team to drop out itself.
Oh, wow.
And then a day later, Meeker and Rangeley, JC said that they were quite sick too, JC Chumacero.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And swimming, do we have anything?
No results yet. Melanie doesn't get them until sometime on Monday.
Okay. So.
And swimming is interesting sports.
Yes.
It is a team sport. You do races and you win stuff, but in order to make it to state, you make it to state on your time.
Correct. Kind of like cross country.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
in each event.
In each event, yes. And so they're really hoping Melanie's daughter from Craig, she's really good. She's probably the best on the team, and they think that she's qualified for state already. And then they're really hoping the relay, which has Vivian and Wagner Brown on it, will be qualifying.
Oh, good. And our members, you mentioned two of them there.
Kate Lockwood and then Morgan Schott.
Okay. All right. So that interview will be coming up this afternoon. Again, we'll record it here up at the rec swimming pool with Coach Neaton. And we'll be right back after a short little break with Coach Stryker Lane. Come on back. All right, welcome back. With us this morning again is Meeker Assistant Wrestling Coach Stryker Lane, who is here with us. He's a teacher at. He's done some live interviews with us. I guess we've never had him in the studio. He told me, so we'll let him give us a little bit about his background, and maybe let's start there.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school? All of them.
All of my schools?
All of them.
Including elementary school?
No.
Okay.
Elementary.
How far back are we going? I'm from Nucla originally, Nucla, Colorado, down to Southwest, and I went there through my sophomore year of high school. So after my dad retired, we ended up, me and my sister, my brother had graduated from Nucla, but after my dad retired, we transferred to Norwood High School, and I finished my high school career there. And after high school, I was able to go wrestle at Cornell University and go to school at Cornell. It was a really great experience. I was really, really scared to go so far from home. I'd never been so far away from my family or anything like that. But so I almost went to Western State. And then one night I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, if I turn down the chance to go to Cornell University, to go to Western State, if I don't at least try that, I'll probably regret that my whole life. Nothing against the Mountaineers. I'm very close with that program, and ended up getting my master's through Western State. So nothing against them, but I felt like I had to at least make the attempt to go wrestle. And
Ivy League,
Division I, Ivy League. It's a really good school.
How do you get
we had
there
some
from
really good
Nucla?
teams. How do I get? You go to Denver, and then you can start. I think.
Go east.
You get I-76, and then I-80 will take you a long ways, and then you're almost there when you get through Cleveland. It's only like 3,000 miles. So it's not too bad. I drove it a couple times, but
Quite the education you get there.
It was. It was. If I look back on my career, I don't have too many regrets with it. I wouldn't say I'm at peace with everything that happened, but one thing I would do different is probably take more advantage of the educational opportunities I had while I was there. I guess I didn't show up with the right mindset in that regard to college, but it was definitely a good time, great experience. We had some really good teams when I was there. We took second in the country twice at NCAAs. I'm still a little bitter about the first loss to Penn State, but
and you wrestled
2012?
heavyweights, right?
Yeah, I was a heavyweight in college. That loss, maybe if I had done a little bit better, we could have ended up bringing that one home instead of having an excuse.
And now you qualified for nationals?
Yeah, I qualified once. Okay. My junior year, I had a pretty good year my junior year, and was wrestling pretty well. Took fourth in the East at the EIWAs, and I was able to qualify that year. Got the number 1 seed at nationals. Big guy named Dom Bradley just beat up on me pretty good, and then I was pouting and lost my next match, and I have a.
So they're never going to get over that. The pouting after losing.
No. American kid.
God,
kid from American came out and wrestled a good match, and I wasn't able to win that one. And
Doggone. Well, thank you so much for coaching our kids. We did mention you were a 3-time state champ for Colorado.
Yeah. So I won I took 6th my freshman year, and then I won 1 state title at 189 pounds. Went back when those were the weights at Nucla, and then transferred to Norwood, and had to be JV the first half of my junior year. So if you look at my record, and it's like 20-0 that year, that's why I didn't have that many matches. But and then won that one at 215, big kid from Burlington, and I ended up wrestling him again, Isaiah Churchwell. I wrestled him in the finals my junior and senior year, and he was a tough kid. He won state at heavyweight the next year after I graduated. But
and 2 at 220, both of them?
215, yeah, 215. At the time, yeah, both of them at 215. So I 1 at 189 and 2 at 215. So.
And kind of talking of different weights and different titles, you go into school with at Cornell. One of you told me the other night at Dr. Grant's fundraiser that one of your teammates was Kyle Dake, who was a 4-time, one of 3 4-time national champion Division I, and his incredible feat is that never been done is that he won it at 4 different weights. Wow.
Yeah. So he won. I was his roommate. I knew him pretty well, or really well. We're still.
Could you beat him?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a 141 pounder. He's basically not even a person yet. You're not really a man until your first first number in your weight is at 2. That's what I always say. But, he was one of the few people I've ever wrestled that was smaller than me, and I didn't wrestle him much after he went after he got to 157. He was what I was saying. He was one of the few that when I would take him down or something, I would know it was only because I was 90 pounds heavier than him. Right. Sometimes people would say that, and like, well, I can wrestle pretty good too. But when I was Kyle, I was like, yeah, there was nothing there if I did not have a chance. But he's a tough guy.
What was he like for a teammate?
He was, he was a little obnoxious from time to time. He was pretty loud, but he had a lot of energy. And I've never been around anybody who just had so much belief in themselves. If you don't know him, especially in his college days when he was a little younger, you might have thought he was cocky or arrogant or something. But he was just a really salt of the earth. He still is. He really still is. Salt of the earth guy. He still reaches out to me. His family lived right there. They were, Lansing was 5 miles away from Ithaca, or where Cornell was, and they would have me over. They took care of me, being so far away. Kyle was a great friend, great teammate, really good leader, and he brought that. Just led by example, type of guy. You could see him putting in the work and seeing the drive and everything. And
I need to go back and listen to the interview. How was that?
I went back yesterday, and me and Dr. Grant, we watched it together, and it was a really good interview. Dr. Grant did a really good job of talking to him and asking him some good questions and really getting into some just good information that kind of shows Kyle's thought process and his mental approach to wrestling, which is, it's been really good. He's been successful his whole career. So that's really something, if you get the chance to watch it, to really pay attention to what he's saying there and seeing if you can apply some of his insight to your own life and your own career and whatever you're trying to achieve. There's a lot of good information in that interview that you could apply and would be helpful for you. But
do you guys think that you'll show that to the boys?
I don't know that we've planned on it. I think I will definitely recommend that they all go watch it. And we'll probably try to. We talked a little yesterday, me and Justin, about what are the 3 takeaways that we can get to it and kind of simplify it a little bit and make it maybe a little more approachable for high school kids, who maybe don't have the experience or the maturity to really conceptualize and deal with the type of stuff that Kyle was talking about. So there's stuff that we can take away from it and add to our program as well. It's definitely worth a watch if you have time.
And so how do you get to that to watch it, Rich?
There's a couple of different ways. You can actually go to the Cowboy Coffee with Coaches.
Okay.
It was streamed live on there, so that would probably be the easiest way.
Okay, and his was a 4:00 interview Saturday, I think. Yeah. So it would be later in the broadcast.
Right. It'll be the last stream that was on there, because I believe we had 3 or 4 different streams total going on there. It'd be the last stream, and if you just scroll down to the last 2 hours of it, actually. Okay. The last stream we started at 3:00.
Okay.
So it would just be an hour into it.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So Stryker, Meeker's not your first place that you've coached high school either.
No, I coached a little bit over in Manitou Springs when I got my first teaching job. I also helped out down in I lived in Albuquerque for a year, and there's Del Norte High School, not to be confused with Del Norte, where we have regionals this year. Del Norte High School in Albuquerque was actually a really good experience for me, and I was selling power tools at the time, really putting my Ivy League degree to work there.
What's your favorite power tool?
Just the Milwaukee Sawzall, probably. The whole hog, that's a fun one too.
Okay.
But
And so when you walked into Meeker's wrestling room, and of course we had a brand new facility, what a great year to start. What did you think?
So being from Western Colorado, Meeker has a pretty good tradition and reputation as a wrestling school. My first practice, though, was actually up on the practice field. So we had to have our wrestling practice outdoors when I first got here.
So
But
you weren't real impressed.
I didn't mind
facility.
it. We were scrapping out there on the football
They do it
field.
outside, okay.
Rain or shine.
That's how they do it, huh?
And I was trying to show him some upper body stuff, and right away I was impressed with Coach Watt, Coach Turner. I've known Coach Padilla for several years. I think he was with Willie towards the end of his career, and that was about when I was in high school. So just seeing the guys get out there and go to work and no complaining, like, oh, this is stupid, we're out here on the football field. And I was just impressed with everything. Everything was so positive in spite of what was going on in those practices. And I was trying to show some moves, and I don't remember who it was. It might have been Judd. If he was up there, just threw me onto the ground, got up, and the hard ground. And it was fun. I really liked it. And then when we finally got to move into the room, that was great. And just brought in I tried to bring in a lot of some of the stuff we did at Cornell too. I didn't know how well high school kids would respond to it. We couldn't really do it at any of the other high schools I coached at, and honestly, I helped out at University of Northern Colorado a couple years too, and
our only Division I program in the state.
Yeah, outside of Air Force Academy.
Oh,
so,
okay,
yeah.
there you go.
Coach Nickerson's doing a really good job there too. He's getting that program turned around and going. But
Good.
Some of those things, and I was like, well, let's try it and let's see what we can do, kind of offer it to them, the high school kids, and see what they can do. And they went after it, and it was impressive and inspiring. And, they've never... maybe they don't complain. Maybe they complain to their parents, but
Are you talking about the stations?
Well, so that's kind of how we worked that out with what we had to deal with COVID, having the rotation and keeping people in cohorts last year, and we thought it was pretty successful. So we kind of kept that around 2 or 3 days a week. But just the drilling and the level of the drilling and things like that, we've showed it to the kids, see what they can do with it, and they just keep impressing me. And so like, all right, you could do that, try this one, and they do that, and it's really impressive how they go for it and don't back down, and don't cry in public anyway, and they're working their butts off, and you can see it on the mat. You can see they wrestle with pride and they wrestle with intensity, and they expect their moves to work when they go for them, and it's been really inspiring to see that out of a group of high school kids. I'm really happy with them.
And so we haven't really talked about the TOC yet because we didn't have Coach Watt on or anybody last week. So, but I think that we're seeing some of the differences is creating a lot of success in the team. Because, if we look at how we did previous years in the TOC and the Warrior, we're definitely improving in the number of kids we have placing.
Yeah, I think our kids they're very resilient. I know we did really well. We pushed we had 6 semifinalists at the Warrior. We ended up with 4 placers at the Tournament of Champions and a champion. That's always nice when you can have a champion. Right. But you're seeing a lot of resilience out of them. You're seeing just toughness and, like I said before, expectations. The pride of knowing that they've put in the work, they're trusting their training, and they're doing a really good job. And TOC was a interesting one. We kind of got off to a bad start there.
Ooh, it was a bit slow in the beginning.
We got pinned a few times in a row, and the kids handled it a lot better than I did. I had my head down. I was mad at everything. Was pouting, and I thought we had a horrible day. Oh yeah, it's one of my hobbies. One of my 5 hobbies. As this is not going good, and then I actually sat down and looked at it. I was like, we had a really good day. Yeah. They turned it around and wrestled hard.
They did. Even the kids like Tegan Sheridan, he wrestled a lot of matches because he wrestled back through that consolation bracket and stayed alive all the way into the second day. They did really good.
Clay Crawford lost his first match and came back and was one round away from placing. Cade had a really, and they're freshmen, you know, they didn't lose to slouches either. All those guys lost to, they went on to place. Cade lost to the champion and the guy that took third.
Oh, wow.
So they're wrestling at a really high level, and it was just Connor looked really good. He wrestled some really smart matches. He did a really great job of managing his matches and doing a good job of winning. So being aware of what was happening in the match and doing what it took to win the match. And that leads me to Tanner Musser, too, who's just been doing amazing lately. He's been wrestling with purpose, wrestling with a goal. He's not just out there seeing what happens. He's out there doing stuff intentionally and going for it. And hopefully some of our other guys are watching that and seeing how you can do that and how you can wrestle a smart match and wrestle to your strengths and come away with some wins that people might not expect, you know.
Yeah, so then this week we have Moffat County on Tuesday, and you think it starts at 5?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We think.
Yeah, I was always like that as a competitor too. All I ever wanted to know was when the bus left and
When was I going to eat?
get on the bus and wherever I showed up, I would wrestle.
Yeah, they'll tell you when to wrestle.
Yeah, and then we go to, I would say, the hardest tournament of the year.
Yes, the Top of the Rockies is the premier tournament in the state of Colorado. So,
And Coach Walt was saying that you're kind of a big deal and the reason why we kind of got into that tournament.
you know, I guess I just I know Centaurus's coach from, well, I've been going to Rocky Mountain Wrestling Camp since 1997. I haven't missed one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he wrestled Coach Mata, Arturo Mata. He wrestled there and was counselor. And I just kind of knew him and was chatting with him. And he's like, well, do you think you guys would be ready for, let me know if you want in. And I was like, well, it's for Coach Watt. I'll run it by him and see what thoughts he has. And then the next thing I know, you know, a couple months later, you get a text from Coach Watt said that we're in the Top of the Rockies. And I was like, ooh.
Okay, and so some of the teams, kind of preview some of the teams that are in there.
Oh, there's the big 5A ones, Pomona, Ponderosa, Monarch. Those are 3 probably nationally ranked teams.
Brighton, Broomfield.
Right, and Broomfield, who we saw Broomfield at
West,
the Warrior.
Pueblo East.
Yeah, the Pueblo East, Pueblo County, the 2 premier Pueblo schools right now. It was Pueblo South when I was in high school, but it's changed a little bit. But yeah, there's
Grand Junction schools.
Yep, all the Grand Junction schools. There's some good teams coming down from Wyoming.
New Mexico, Rio Rancho, New Mexico.
Yep.
2-day event.
Windsor, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So we'll see.
So tell us, how is this tournament working? Is it similar to the TOC where there's wrestlebacks the second day?
Yeah, so it's a pretty standard setup, 2-day tournament, 32-man bracket. So they'll probably wrestle to the semifinals and the championship side and wrestle back to the quarters would be my guess, the first day, and then come in the second day and finish it off. At least wrestle back enough that you can only have 5 matches in a day, so to make sure that they can get all their matches in. But, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. And our kids be ready now, kind of a week off? How did they spend
Yeah,
that?
we ended up getting a little week off to recover from the TOC, I guess, and get ready for this big one over in Centaurus High School.
Okay. And then we had practice this morning.
We did have practice this morning, our typical Mondays. They had to drag me out of there to come down to this. It's hard for me to leave practice.
Yeah. Good for thanks for you doing that. So,
but yeah. They're doing good. We'll be ready for it. So.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, and then our Grand Valley got rescheduled for what did I tell you before?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, the 25th, and it'll be home now. So
good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We already tried to go once and didn't want, so yeah, come on.
And then Stryker, why don't you get to tell the parents where we're going next weekend?
And then after the Top of the Rockies, we were able to get into the center tournament. We didn't have anything scheduled for the varsity that week, but with Grand Valley and Hayden being canceled we felt like we needed to get another
Which
week into
will
there.
ultimately be good. That is our, that's our region. So we're going to get
Yeah,
to
we'll
see,
see a
quite
lot
a
of
few
our-
teams.
Exactly. Buena Vista and Centauri will both be there. So
And Sargent, maybe.
yeah, Sargent will probably be there. I haven't looked at the list yet, but a lot of those San Luis Valley teams, that's the region we're in this year. So, that's a trip we're going to have to make.
There we go.
Colorado's potato country, I think.
But the
so.
JV is still going to Grand
Yep.
Junction.
JV's still going to Grand
You'll
Junction.
take 14 kiddos, and the rest will go to Grand Junction.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe just right quick, you got a minute? You got to go.
I could.
Dr. Grant and his fundraiser and that 24-hour deal, kind of maybe plug that a minute if you could.
Well, I thought he was a little crazy when he said he was going to do it, and then I saw him do it, and I think he's even more crazy. So
You confirmed it?
he confirmed it. Yeah. That was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Somebody being able to do that, and having a goal, doing what it took to train for it, and then executing it. It's a really inspiring thing. I watched him do that workout. I did one round of what he did for 24 hours, and I'm still. You see, I got a little blister right there. It's bothering me. I might have to take the day off from teaching
It was
today.
really nice. He had a lot of buddies and a lot of good friends and support come in and help him work out. Lee Overton went in from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and then Dr. Kevin Borchard went in from 3 to 7. And I know that Buzz Clatterbaugh said that he went down there at 3 a.m. And
I think Cale Overton got 9 hours in with him. But that was also one of the just seeing the community kind of rally around it and the whole thing. And they did a good job. It ended up raising a significant amount of money. I don't know any exact figures, but it was a really, really positive event.
Good deal.
That was,
Good deal. Yeah, we had Dr. Grant on last week before.
Week before.
And he kind of, good deal. And great to have you guys helping our kids. It shows and is appreciated, and especially our big guys, Judd included, Tanner, as you mentioned. You can tell that they are
The number
being
one goal
coached a
for the
little
big
bit.
guys is to get a takedown on striker,
there you go.
which
might
they're
step
getting.
on,
They're getting now. They're
big
so
good
proud
goal.
of themselves.
yeah, I might step on my shoelaces one of these days. And don't get me.
I think you do that, and you get a full ride to an Ivy League school. I think if you can do that, so that would be a good goal.
Well, that it would make me happy, when they get to where they can score on me. So they don't need to be afraid of making me angry. So, I might hurt them a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
It'd be like, they got me.
Okay.
Good job, guys. If you take me down, with my experience and just size,
Right.
have
Size.
bigger than Tanner.
What is the size? Give me your size.
What am I weighing? I'm like 260 right now.
Oh wow! Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
She thought I was closer to 300. Being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Judd says he's like 300.
Yeah. Feels that
like,
way.
Yeah, feels like.
Yeah.
Kind of like the
I'm only
temperature.
50 pounds heavier than Judd.
Oh,
60.
so he should be able to go.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
excuse there.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, thank you so much, Striker, for coming
thanks, thanks for giving me the opportunity to come down here. I think everybody knows I like my own voice, so anytime I get a chance to talk, I'll take it.
in. We like it, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you being a good sport about doing the live deals. Coach Watt, he's a little camera shy, and
Well,
Yes.
you've seen his face. I would be too.
Okay, we'll just have a maybe a cowboy coffee with local comedians.
I
Could
know.
be a good one. So you got some good stingers, but you probably need to have those with that group that
You do.
that coaches in order to kind of survive.
My first one when you interviewed me, I was on the bus and Coach Turner was watching it. First thing he says is like, man, Coach Lynn, you got a face for radio. And I was like,
That wasn't very nice, huh?
didn't expect that of Coach Tony. He's a pretty nice
he's
guy.
pretty nice guy.
Where'd that come from?
Oh man.
Did you beat him up?
No,
Because you're bigger than him.
I am.
Okay. But yeah, we appreciate it and appreciate what you do with our kids and good luck
They're
to you.
good kids.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun here down the stretch.
I think it will
watching,
be
so.
too. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna open some eyes in February. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Good.
I think we will too. You know, they've wrestled a lot of big teams, big guys, you know, that are tough.
Yeah.
And then that's how you want to go in is get all the best competition you can so that when you're wrestling in the state tournament, it's not so tough.
Yeah, you don't go in and get
It's
stars
over.
in your eyes and you know, you're like, I've been in tougher tournaments.
Yep. Good deal.
Yep.
Well, thanks again.
Yep,
I
thank
better
you.
go. I better go teach school or
Good
something.
deal. Thanks much. You take care, and again,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having me
joining
on.
us. And
Thanks for putting all this on. This is I like this. It's good for the community and the kids.
Yeah,
So,
good,
Thanks.
good. Well, thank you, and thanks again. And we'll be back this afternoon when we go record our interview with Coach Nate Neaton. Okay. Thank you
you.
much. Come on back.
Crystal Meadow Farms is family owned and operated, offering a wide range of CBD products. Coming from 5 generations of farming, Crystal Meadow Farms offers farm-to-table products. In-house CBD extraction using beverage-grade CO2 since 2019. They create a CBD oil without the use of harmful chemicals. Their retail products are handcrafted using organic and natural ingredients and are some of the strongest on the market. They offer a range of CBD tinctures, spa products, a pet line, gummies for day and night, and a large line of topicals.
So here we go. Thank you and welcome back to our podcast, Cowboy Coffee with Coaches. Rich, Tiffany, and myself have moved our show back to the ERBM Recreation and Parks Center where we're using Shelley Rogers' office to interview our swim coach, Melanie Neaton's.
Did we say that right?
Yeah, neat.
We got her. Okay, good. To interview her, and she's going to tell us here kind of a unique situation that we have in the Moffat County as a team. But you practice in our pool, and we have 4 Meeker girls that are swimming on the Moffat County swim team. But so maybe kind of explain that, and then kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Okay. Well, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Moffat decided to close the high school pool. And then at that particular time, the superintendents got together so that we could keep the high school program going for the girls and boys. And so we luckily get to swim at the Meeker Rec Center, and we drive here 4 to 5 days a week. We also, just by coming here, we've built more of a program with the Meeker girls. This year we actually have 5 girls from Meeker swimming. Eden is the 5th one that you may not know about. She's homeschooled and she hasn't been able to attend a meet, but this next weekend will be her first meet, and her name is Eden Herring. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Kate Lockwood, and we have the twins, both Vivian and Wagner Brown, and then we have Morgan Schott. And I teach.
All in Moffat County?
No, I taught on the Eastern Plains of Colorado, and then I taught in Hayden for 13 years, and then moved. My family's always, since we moved up to the area, my family's always lived in Moffat County, and so as my 4 children got older, it was just easier for me to transition into Moffat. So I work at Sunset Elementary, and I have a unique job actually. In the morning, I'm a K-2 literacy specialist, and then in the afternoon, I am a first grade teacher.
Oh,
So I teach science and math and social studies to
that's a
first
great
graders.
age.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Well, good for you.
And we've been in Moffat since 1998.
Okay, and how long have you been coaching?
This is my 5th year coaching, and then I was an assistant coach for 2 years under Megan Francone, and she had a baby and was unable to continue, and I didn't want the program to die, so I asked.
Good for you.
Yeah, applied. and
Because
got
you
it, so-
also, in the summer, you also are a not a ref. What is
An
it called?
official.
Official.
An official.
Yeah.
Yeah, so USA swim official.
Yep, and I've done that for probably about 9 years. I have 4 children that swim. My son is really a hockey player. Got to put that in there. So he probably, but my 3 daughters have swam. Molly and Alexa are both at Regis University now. They both swam for Moffat County and the Sea Sharks since they were little, and then now my daughter Megan is swimming for the high school.
Okay, and so you said that you come over every day for practice. How many is that you bring over? How many
We
Craig
bring
girls?
9.
9, okay.
Well, we bring 8 girls and 1 boy who's
Oh,
trying
okay.
to get ready for boys season, and he's their manager right now.
And so how has the team been doing, and kind of what's coming up for them now?
Well, I'm super proud of the girls. We lost 8 seniors last year,
Oh, wow.
and so it was kind of a rebuild year, but the girls have really stepped up, and they're doing excellent. They've cut a lot of time. They work really hard every day at practice, and so our A relay is about 7 seconds away from a state time right now. This last weekend, they were sitting at 2 minutes 6 seconds, and they shaved it down to 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and so we have 7 more seconds to cut. But they work every day on diving and their turns and breathing, and so we've got some areas that we're going to hit really hard this next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And see if we can
And
get
what
those
relay
times
is that?
shaved. That's the 200 free relay, and then they're also working really hard on the 200 medley relay, and in that relay, it starts with the fly, which Megan Neaton swims, and then the breast, which Sarah Johnston from Craig has been swimming for us. But we just we're putting Kate back in there too, Kate Lockwood, and she did an excellent job this last weekend for us in the breast. And then we have 2 girls. Well, we actually have 2 girls that fly. I need to say that Morgan is also a flyer, and so she flies. So her and Megan are competing for that position. And then Kate and Sarah, and then Vivian is our backstroker, and she's doing an excellent job. She continues to cut time. She's actually about 7 seconds away in her back for a state time right now.
Oh,
Vivian
good.
Brown, and so she's doing excellent there. And then our freestylist is Wagner Brown, and she continues to cut time. She is just amazing, just works so hard and tries.
So there's not a qualifying meet. Are they all qualifying meets? It's a matter of making a certain time
Yep.
in order to qualify for state? Okay.
Yeah, this year it's all based on times.
Okay.
Last year we had to be in the top 20, but this year it's based on times.
Okay.
So for the 200 free, it's 1:56, and they're at 2:03, and then for the 200 medley, it's 2:06, and we're sitting at about 2:20 right now. And then the 400 free, which they swam for the second time this weekend, they cut 35 seconds. So an excellent race, yeah.
Wow,
They had
okay.
a lot of PRs there, and those are your fastest freestylists, and that's the 2 twins, Wagner and Vivian, Megan and Sarah.
Okay. And so how much time much of the season is left?
Right, we have about 3 weeks left.
Okay.
So 12 practices.
Oh, okay.
So I'm counting down.
Uh-huh.
We have this next weekend. We're in Summit on Saturday. They'll swim there at the high school. Then next weekend we swim both Friday and Saturday. We'll start in Aspen, and then we'll go on to Glenwood to finish on Saturday. And then we have regionals in Grand Junction.
Okay.
Then if we
At
can-
CMU,
At CMU.
which is a great
Okay.
pool.
Yeah.
And I had heard that maybe you're going to Delta Friday. Is that not happening?
Well, I need to talk my top 6 girls into going to Delta with me. I'd like to take them. And luckily, 4 of those girls are from Meeker. And they don't have school. So it's really talking my 2 Craig girls into missing AP Bio.
Okay. You have anything else?
No, I think I'm
Okay.
good. Thank you so much for
yes,
joining
thank
us
you so
today.
much for
Yeah.
taking the time out and joining us. Thanks for the dedication of driving over every day and allowing our Maker girls to participate on your team. And good luck to you this season.
Yes, thank
and
you.
again, yes, thanks for your effort and what you do.
Yeah, and I
thank
think we
you.
would probably like to have you back
Yeah.
after regionals or something like that.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, and thank you for this interview, and the Meeker girls are wonderful. It's a pleasure and an honor to be able to work with them and to swim here at the rec center, and always for Shelley's help.
We love Shelley, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much,
Yeah, thank
Melanie.
you.
Yeah, thank
Nice
you.
to meet you. Welcome back, and thanks. We're going to have Tiffany tell us who the athlete of the week is, as well as tell us where our teams are going to be competing this week.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead, Tiffany.
after that great interview with Melanie, I think it's clear that Vivian Wagner, you're doing a fabulous job swimming. You've cut so much time, as a relay, on the relays, and then individually, you've done fabulous, and we're so proud of you, and congratulations on being athlete of the week.
All right, good job, Vivian.
Yeah.
And then, so where are we competing, and when's that?
Yeah, so basketball has a big weekend. On Thursday, they're home against Little Snake. Then Friday, they travel to Cap Rock. And then Saturday, back home and then we're hosting Sirocco.
Boys and girls?
Boys and girls.
Okay.
Same schedule, so good job. That'll be fun to watch and get some home action again. And then swimming, like Melanie just said, that they're going to be at Summit County on Saturday, and hopefully, crossing her fingers, she can get some of the girls to go to Delta on Friday. Then wrestling tomorrow, beginning at 6 p.m. in Craig for the Moffat County Duel. Then Friday, Saturday is a huge tournament, top of the Rockies, with a lot of really tough teams, some of the best teams in the state, the best teams in the state, actually. And that begins at 1 p.m. on Friday. And I'm not positive, but I do think that one will be streamed on Flow Wrestling.
More than likely. So, yes, okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening, everyone. And come on back, Cowboy Coffee with Coaches. Thank you, everybody.
Yep, thanks.